All right, for today's assignment, you're going to be finishing a sheet on climate, and we're going to be doing it on Minnesota. I'm going to be doing one to model it for you, and then you will be doing one on Minnesota just to practice. We won't be starting our own projects until next week on your state. So for today, you're just going to practice with Minnesota. And so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my sheet that has climate. And remember, in the lesson, you learned that climate is the weather that is the usual kind of weather. So it's not like the weather on a specific day. It is the weather that it usually has. And so we think of states as having, different regions having different climates. So some places are warmer than others. Some are colder than others. Some get a lot of snow. Some get a lot of rain. Some get a lot of storms, like on the East Coast or in the near Texas, they might get a lot of hurricanes. And so that would be the climate. And so if you go to Epic, I've already assigned you some books on Minnesota. And so what you're going to do, I'll just kind of show this right now. The class code again for our class is YSH5670. So you just need to download the Epic app and put in that code. So you'll click the login with the code. And so I'm going to go to my library and assignments. So here I have several different books. And I have 5 books that are on Minnesota. So I'm going to use this one. This one is a fairly easy book. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the table of contents, and I'm going to look to see if I can find anything about climate. And I don't see anything there. So I'm going to go to one of the other books. So now I'm going to look at this one and see if I can find climate in here. Climate and weather, and it's on page 12. So I'm going to go to page 12, and here is climate and weather. And so I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger so that I can read it. And the first thing I'm going to look for is summer climate. So I'm going to skim it, and I'm going to see if I can find some information about the climate during the summer. And it says, in the north, summers are shorter and cooler. In the south, summers are longer and more humid. And so it says the growing season is about 160 days in the southwest. So let's see if we can find more about the summer. Oh, here it says, in general, summers are hot. Okay, so I'm going to go to my document here and I'm going to type in hot. And the other thing that it said was that it was humid. It says summers are longer and more humid. And humid is when it feels like there's a lot of water in the air. Now the next part is winter climate. And so I am going to think about what it's like here in the winters. And not just what I know in my head, but what I'm reading. So this is part of research. And so I am going to look in my book to see that the average low temperatures in January, which is in the winter, is 0 degrees. And so that's pretty cold. And then it also says Minnesota winters are notorious. In other words, they're well known for their cold snaps. And so one of the things about our winter climate is it's very cold. And then I still need to find something about something else about winter. And it says the state can be struck by blinding blizzards that dump 3 feet of snow or more. So it's there's a lot of snow here. Okay, why do people visit the state? So thinking about why people might visit the state, think about in the summertime when it's hot, what kinds of things can people do if they come and visit here? I think they might want to go maybe swimming or maybe even fishing. We have a lot of lakes in Minnesota, and so fishing is something that people might like to do in the winter. Or in the winter or the summer. They might do ice fishing too. Why do people leave the state? So think about, when it's in the summertime, when it's hot and humid, sometimes people don't like it when it's really, really hot. And so hot and humid weather might make people leave the state. And another thing is, some people don't like the snow and lots of cold. So after I'm done with this, I'm going to submit it as a Google assignment, so it's already in there. And you will be doing yours on Minnesota as well. So again, we're just going to practice. I want to give you a chance to read some of the books and do some of the research on Minnesota.